Lenten Thoughts, Day 32, on the Blessed Virgin, and how, for different kinds of people, she is like the dawn, the moon, the sun, and like an army set in array. I am the light of the world. According to Blessed Augustine, the unity between the head and the members to the head, is so great that sometimes the head takes on the person of the members, as in Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? And sometimes the members are named in reference to the head, as in the psalm, do not touch my anointed ones. Much more strongly there is such unity between the mother, that is, the Blessed Virgin, and her Son Jesus Christ, that what is said of the Son may also be fittingly applied to the mother. Thus the proposed verse, I am the light of the world, although spoken of the Son, may also be applied to the mother. For Christ is the light of the world, who enlightens and is not enlightened. The mother, too, is the light of the world, because she is the light through which the world is illuminated. How is she the light of the world? Solomon shows this with wonder when he says, Who is this that comes forth like the dawn, beautiful as the moon, chosen as the sun, terrible as an army set in array? Behold, this is how she is the light of the world. For in the world there are some who are troubled, some who are tempted, some who are sinners, and some who are just. She is to sinners as the dawn, because she gives them the rays of her mercy. She is to the troubled as the moon, because she gives them the ray of her consolation. To the just as the sun, because she gives them the ray of grace. To the tempted as a terrible army, because she drives away demons with the splendor of her majesty. Thus, first to sinners, she is like the dawn, because she gives them the ray of her mercy. Just as the dawn expels the darkness and brings light, so her mercy expels from sinners the night of guilt and brings them the light of grace. For this reason she is called the Mother of Mercy, because God has entrusted to her the power to perform all works of mercy. Now, in her acts of mercy, she is not stingy, but very generous and bountiful, as the saying goes. She opened her hand to the needy and stretched out her palms to the poor. If there were a lady who always stretched out her arm to the poor and kept her hands open and full, she would be considered very generous. In this way Solomon speaks of the valiant woman, that is, the Blessed Virgin, who was so strong that she drew God from heaven and conquered the devil. This valiant woman then, towards sinners, keeps her arm outstretched, because her mercy is extended universally to all. She keeps her hand open, not closed, because she does not give her mercy sparingly, but very easily, not requiring much or long pleading. She has hands full of alms, because she bestows her mercy generously, freely, and abundantly. So if anyone does not have her mercy, let him not blame Blessed Mary, since she extends her arm universally, since her hand is full, giving abundantly, and since her hand is open, giving easily and generously. This office of giving and showing mercy God entrusted to her, just as in the papal court some letters are issued of simple justice, some of pure grace, and others are mixed, that is, appearing to contain both justice and grace. So too in God's court he has 3 chancellors. One has been entrusted by God to issue letters of simple justice. This is the Archangel Michael, who weighs souls and, according to the measure of their good and evil works, assigns the measure of punishment or heavenly reward. Another chancellor to whom God entrusted the issuing of mixed letters, namely of justice and grace, is Blessed Peter, who is the doorkeeper of heaven. There are two gates: the gate of justice, through which those enter who are saved by their just works. This is the gate the prophet asks to be opened when he says, "Open to me the gates of justice." And the gate of grace, through which enter those saved solely by the grace of God, such as baptized infants. But the Blessed Virgin is the chancellor of God, to whom he entrusted the granting of mercy and grace. Therefore, we should often invoke this chancellor and say, "Turn then, most gracious advocate, thine eyes of mercy toward us." Secondly, to the afflicted she is like the moon, because she gives them the ray of her consolation. For the moon has power over the sea, and in the same way she has power over those afflicted and embittered. And just as the moon shines in the night, so too she comes to the aid of those in tribulation. She is said to be beautiful as the moon. The moon is beautiful when it is full. It shines throughout the whole night. When it is not full, it shines only at the beginning or middle or end of the night. So too some saints help the afflicted only at the beginning of their tribulations by giving them steadfastness. Some allow them to suffer and be tested at first, but then assist them in the middle by granting perseverance. Others permit them to suffer at the beginning and middle, but help at the end, so that they do not fall into impatience by granting them victory. But the Blessed Mary is like the full moon, who helps at the beginning of trials by giving steadfastness, in the middle by giving perseverance, and at the end by giving the crown or the victory. And it is no wonder if this moon shines for the afflicted and those in darkness, because she herself was afflicted and darkened. For this reason she can better sympathize with and show mercy to the afflicted. According to Augustine, the moon is darkened in three ways: when it is empty, when it is covered by clouds, or when it is eclipsed. The Blessed Virgin in this life suffered three great tribulations. The first was when Herod wanted to kill the child, and she fled to Egypt. Then this moon was completely deprived of consolation, for how could she have any comfort when, newly delivered, she was compelled to flee over harsh roads to a far-off land, to live among idolaters, and to carry a tender child with her? Second sorrow came when she believed she had lost her son, fearing he had fallen into enemy hands and gone off to preach to distant nations, or even returned to the Father without redeeming the human race. Then she was covered by clouds, for a dark cloud of grief and sorrow filled her soul, and she said, "Your Father and I have been searching for you in sorrow." The third tribulation was at the sun's passion. Then the moon was eclipsed. A blood moon appears during an eclipse, and at her son's passion she was pierced by the sword of sorrow, as it is written, "And your own soul a sword shall pierce." Again the sun, meaning Christ, was turned to darkness through death, and the moon, meaning the Blessed Virgin, to blood through her suffering. Third, she is to the just as the sun, because to them she sends the ray of her grace. She enlightens them by example and benefit. By example, because she is a divine mirror in which we ought to look at ourselves. She is the brightness of eternal light and a mirror without stain. A mirror is made of glass and lead. The mirror, which is clear, signifies her virginity. The lead, which is soft and grey, signifies her humility. Just as neither glass alone nor lead alone make a mirror unless combined, and only then do they reflect an image, so too neither humility without virginity, nor virginity without humility would have made Mary the mirror of God. such that the mirror of God might be reflected in her. It is only because humility and virginity was joined in her that this was possible. And just as the mirror receives the image of the one who looks into it, she in the womb bore him who created her. He who created me rested in my tabernacle. So in this mirror, all should look and see their own stains. The proud will recognize their pride by comparing it with her humility, the lustful by her virginity, the avaricious by her poverty. Amen. Help us at gofundme.com/restore-immaculate. Thank you for your Lenten generosity. May God bless you.